Hello, thank you for clicking this video. I'm Alex, I'm the Devil's Advocate. I talk about music, movies, TV, music, whatever I want to talk about. Video games. I think I said music twice. But today is a special day because we're talking about one of my favorite franchises, Alien. And the debut of Alien Earth, which premiered last night on FX and Hulu. I have been a Alien fan longer than I've even seen the movies because my dad was an Alien fan. And he would tease me as a kid when he'd go to Blockbuster to rent movies, and I'd tell him which movie I want, and he'd say, maybe I'll rent Alien too. And I said, no, because it's scary, and I was scared of everything. But eventually, I did get around to watching these movies and fell in love with them, like he did. And it's a tumultuous franchise with many installments that some consider less than average, namely Alien versus Predator. Even Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. But looking at everything like Prometheus and, what was it, Alien Covenant, and then Alien Romulus last year, I think it was last year, looking at them as like fan movies, fan-made movies is kind of the best way to handle it as a fan. Because Alien Earth goes against the entire premise of the first Alien movie, which is, if we let this one thing get to Earth, we're all doomed. Because it'll spread too fast to contain, and that's the end of humanity. So this TV show is already breaking the conceit of the original four, the quadrilogy, if you will, of Alien movies, saying we cannot let any scrap of the alien xenomorph get to Earth, because this show is about aliens on Earth. I'm not going to really spoil the show. I'm kind of just going to give general vibes because it is the premiere. We're going to let the season run out, and maybe I'll do another review after the season's finished, like I did with Daredevil. Which, by the way, I just saw on Twitter that the season 2 is going to be the final season. I'm very worried about that. But I hope it gets movies. Anyways, talking about Alien, there's several plots happening at the same time, but there is a main character. And this main character, I mean, light spoilers, it is the premiere, but it's a kid, 12, I think they mentioned, a 12-year-old girl who has like a terminal illness. And this big, one of the major four corporations that rule Earth and the solar system has taken her and said, we're going to, transfer your mind into a synth. And if you know aliens, you know about synths. We're talking Ash, we're talking Bishop. These are the robots of the alien universe. Now, in the opening, they tell you about three forms of artificial life. There's cyborgs, which are humans that have, robot components. They have synths, which are just full-on androids. And then they have hybrids, which is what our main girl, who is Wendy, is her name. And there's a whole Peter Pan motif going on in this specific company called Prodigy, and also with her, she loves Peter Pan. But she has a brother who thinks she's dead because the father made the decision to give her to the company many years ago. So he was like, I went to the funeral, I know that she's dead. And he's a medic, and she's been watching him through screens, and because she's a robot now, and she's all tapped into the network and can hack into security cameras and whatnot. So she wants to reunite with him. The Mark Zuckerberg / Elon Musk head of this company, Prodigy, is kind of letting her explore and do these things, but definitely wants to control her and make sure that she can follow orders. And there's also there's a plot of basically the Nostromo. But what if Ash got his way and everyone got infected and they crashed into Earth, and they were working for Yutani, and again, the corporations are talked about as nation states, And this is what was in the background always of the Alien franchise, of corporate like malpractice, not caring about their employees, not caring who lives and dies, just wanting profit over everything else. And so this is seemingly the focus of the show, and that's cool because that's a very prescient issue in today's day and age. Making the brother a medic is also very prescient in this day and age, as they're laying off nurses and doctors all over the country. So, because of Trump's budget cuts, fucking slashing our economy to ribbons to make himself wealthy. And that is, again, the point of the show. There is no Trump-like figure as of yet. But again, this CEO of Prodigy is very Mark Zuckerberg, very Elon Musk, very I don't give a shit. Like, he lays out what he wants, right? And he wants to have a conversation with someone smarter than himself. Very ego-driven. So, yeah, I mean, the setup of the show in this two-part premiere episodes is Wendy wants to reunite with her brother and basically live life with him. But she also wants to do what was done to her, to him, so that he won't die ever. Because she's going to live forever. Because she's a robot now with a human brain. They do a weird thing because she's in an adult body now. And they do address it. Of like, well, we put you in an adult body because you are going to live, so long. You don't want to be in a child robot for that long. So there's a little like getting used to it, and they're kind of programming puberty into her head so she can kind of grow into the emotionless adult, I guess, that they envision. But I mean, we got an alien right away. We got some other weird creatures, some specimens right away. And like I said, this Yutani ship crashes into the Prodigy City, the capital city of this company. And they have like a business call where Yutani's like, hey, I want my stuff back. And he's like, well, it landed in my city, so get your lawyers to talk to my lawyers, and we'll institute some kind of treaty, and then you'll be able to come look at your ship. But in the meantime, fuck off. And if you send anybody into my city, I'm going to consider that a hostile act. So we're seeing these corporations, these monopolies, play against each other as if they're governments. And it is very dystopian and all too relevant to our modern day. I'm excited to see where it goes. I will say, like, production-wise, it's less Game of Thrones and more CW's The Flash. FX also did the Shogun show from last year, which was really cool and very high production value. But my contention was, I think they had about the same production value. It's just that the green screen shots in Shogun are pretty much of like sky and ocean and hills, which look more natural and are easier for us to believe than these cityscapes and these spaceships and the, alien action that happens in this show. And so it looks a little cheaper by comparison. But I will also say the way this is cut, there are various moments where they just kind of throw in, like, I don't know, Saw editing, for lack of a better term. Just like quick little cuts of like fucked up images that are happening elsewhere. And we'll get back to that eventually. And it doesn't really feel like it fits. There's actually quite a bit of like slow fade transitions, which I understand is harkening back towards the first Alien movie, which has a few of those. So we're trying to get the same vibe. The music is also very much from that first movie, carrying some of those themes over, and just some of the I don't know, what do you call them, arrangements in the score harken very much back to that first Alien movie. The vibe, it very much feels like it's part of the world. Romulus also did a good job of feeling like it was part of this universe, and I think this carries over with, again, a little more flat lighting sometimes, just bigger wide shots than like dynamic close-ups. Makes it a little, again, feel a little CW-ish, but no, like, again, looking at it as this is a fan-made project. You know, Noah Hawley is a fan of the Alien franchise. He's a professional director, but he's also a fan of the Alien franchise. Everyone is. Like, it's a similar thing to comic books. Everyone past, like, 1950-something, every writer that came on a comic book after that has been a fan of comic books. So it's kind of like the ship of Perseus. How much of this is original and how much is just paying homage to what already came before. But I think this has enough teeth in it, pun intended, to keep me interested, keep me coming back week to week. If I miss an episode, I might jump off. I don't know. But I will be paying attention to Tuesdays, 8 o'clock Eastern for Alien Earth. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see if I feel like by the end of this season, if I feel this is a worthy entry into the Alien franchise, or this is an Alien versus Predator. The whole like artificial life stuff and the weird philosophy that Ridley Scott loves to play with, like in his show Raised by Wolves on HBO, which I always intended to watch but never actually got around to, and now it's canceled. So, I don't know, but all that shit is in here. You love philosophizing about motherfucking AI and who's going to outlast who. Is it humanity? Is it robots? Is it a combination of the two? What if it's a human brain and a robot body? How much of that is still a human being? How much of that is just an algorithm repeating what this human brain kind of lent to it? All that stuff is there. The lead actress is doing a great job. I don't know her name. Lead actor, Alex something. He was in Andor. He's doing a great job. I'm glad he's getting more work. I first saw him in the Black Mirror episode Shut Up and Dance. Alex Lawler. Thank you, off-screen wife. And Timothy Oliphant is in here as a robot, and he's just fun to see. It's always fun to see Timothy Oliphant. He's also in The Mandalorian. Well, in Star Wars. He was in The Mandalorian as the Marshal sheriff guy on Tatooine. And the mother from the Babadook is here. She's playing a woman who like tries to keep the humanity in these body transfers, because this girl isn't the only one. There are a couple other sick children who again get put into robot bodies. It's a very weird set of plots that we have going on, but I am interested to see how they all tie together, if they nail it, if they do it well, or if it feels like we're setting up for a season 2 and a season 3 and a spin-off and this and that, and who knows. But as of right now, it's interesting enough. I love Alien. I'm always going to go back to those movies, and I'm always happy to see more Alien stuff come out, despite the quality sometimes. Alien Covenant and Prometheus notwithstanding. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about the first 2 episodes. Again, when the season's over, I may do a wrap up and talk about the season as a whole. But for now, that's it. And thank you very much for watching. Click that like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There's plenty of other videos on the channel. And yeah, man, have a great day.